Good afternoon. It is my pleasure to welcome you to these 151st commencement exercises for the Attleboro High School class of 2020. While certainly not traditional, these exercises are no less significant. Graduates, families, APS staff, and our city should all be immensely proud today. Now I ask that you please rise for the Star-Spangled Banner, which was recorded by members of our senior choir under the direction of Mr. Gary Hyman.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. Thank you. I'm very pleased to have this opportunity to acknowledge our honored guest who would have been in attendance with us today had we been able to convene as we traditionally do. The Mayor of the City of Attleboro, Paul Hero. School Committee Chair, Stephen Withers Jr. School Committee members, Vice Chairman, Rob Geddes. Secretary, William Larson. Lynn Porto. Diane Sawyer. Shannon Johnson. Robert Hill. Scott Domenici, and Jim Storrs. Superintendent of Schools, David Sawyer. Other members of the Central Office Leadership Team, Lori Regan, Mark Furtado, Julianne Singer, and Yvonne Medeiros. Attleboro High School Administration and Senior Class Staff, Assistant Principal, Gene Hickox. Assistant Principal, Kevin Gorman. Career and Technical Education Director, Jeremy Gay. Director of the Network Program, Robbie Willamure. Attleboro High School Deans, Robin Bianchetto, Ann Montagano, Colleen Neslin, and Martin Ty. Events Manager, Katie Rigo. Senior Class Advisors, Catherine Botsford-Milne and Angela Larson. Members of the Attleboro High School faculty, building administrators, and faculty of the Attleboro Public Schools, friends and family, and most importantly, the graduates of the Attleboro High School class of 2020. Welcome. The salutatorian of the Attleboro High School class of 2020 will attend Boston College. She has achieved at the highest level academically and in her outside activities. She is receiving the honors diploma. She is passionate about learning, and that has led her to a pursuit of a degree in research science. She has always set high goals for herself and has excelled beyond them. She was named a National Merit Commended Scholar and was also selected for the Superintendent's Award earlier this year. She has been chosen to attend the Massachusetts Girls State Conference, has been a member of the Attleboro High School softball team, Student Council, National Honor Society, National French Honor Society, and the Art Club. She has given back to our city by volunteering at the Capron Park Zoo. She is unique in that she truly wants to make the world a better place through research science. She is passionate about learning, which is evident in her academic success. Please join me in welcoming the salutatorian of the Attleboro High School class of 2020, Jenna GITTLE.
Classmates, faculty, administrators, families, and friends, Welcome to the Attleboro High School Class of 2020 graduation ceremony. I wanted to start with some thank yous as there is an awful lot to be thankful for. First, thank you to the valedictorian, salutatory, and selection panel for bestowing upon me the great honor to address my classmates. Thank you to the wonderful people within the Attleboro school system who made this ceremony possible. Parents, relatives, and friends, thank you for your constant love and support. Teachers, coaches, and AHS faculty, thank you for inspiring us to be our best selves, both in classroom and in community. And to all the first responders and essential workers in the crowd, your efforts to keep our community safe and healthy are greatly appreciated. My mother works as a microbiologist in the Sturdy Memorial Hospital lab. I have seen firsthand how hard you have worked, and I am extremely proud of you and your coworkers. When tasked with writing a speech highlighting the key moments that define the class of 2020, a great many things came to mind. Our football team beat North in this year's Thanksgiving Day game. Our marching band was going to play in the National Memorial Day Parade in Washington, D.C. The class of 2020 went undefeated at the pep rallies, or so we like to think. We hosted concerts and drama festivals, were medaled at Skills USA, attended leadership conferences like Hobie and Boys and Girls State. And in the midst of our own accomplishments, we were the cheerleaders who championed the construction of a new Attleboro High School, the next phase in Attleboro's legacy of Blue Pride. All of these are things we should reflect on and be proud of. It is a source of immense personal pride to belong to such a well-rounded graduating class, filled with so many remarkable athletes, scholars, artists, and volunteers. Though these are all terrific talking points, no key moment has defined the class of 2020 so drastically as the COVID-19 pandemic. My father has always told my twin sister and I that character is defined in times of adversity, not when everything is going easy. None of us thought that our 4 years at Attleboro High School were going to end on some Friday afternoon mid-March, and none of us would have expected our graduation to be via video and automobile. Nonetheless, we are here together today. I'd like to speak not about opportunities lost, but instead the fantastic opportunities gained, and how these opportunities have come to define us. Quarantine has brought us together in ways we'd never expected. Social media floods us with college and career congratulations, reminders of how the journey itself has been a celebration, regardless of traditions not fulfilled. Instagram stories tell the stories of graduates and their friends, graduates in their 4 years, graduates in their most cherished memories. Never throughout my young life have I seen and felt so much support. In many ways, social distancing has made us more social than we've ever been. Secondly, it's taught us the value of time with family. Moments like yard work, family game night, calling the grandparents, and joining the little ones' birthday parades are important as they're our last before we're off on our own. Our pets are ecstatic about the attention they're being given. To have so much time together is a gained opportunity. We've also seen teachers and faculty members working hard to create a meaningful educational experience for us at home. Remote learning is a blessing in disguise. It's an opportunity to adjust to new technology, to experiment with unconventional teaching and learning methods. From Zoom calls to senior signs to virtual events, the care and dedication of the AHS staff is a constant reminder that people are looking out for us. Haven't we all taken this advantage to rise, react, and shine as a community? COVID-19 will not be the last difficult thing we all face, but it has been an opportunity to define our character. And we are, as Principal RUNEY has said many times, the resilient class. We reach out to one another and lift each other up. We see the silver lining in the gray cloud, know now to never take anything for granted. We rise to the challenge, adapt, and overcome. I'd like to offer an alternative motto for the class of 2020, because right now the future may not be as clear as what it says on our class t-shirts. Let's be the 2020 visionaries, those who use our opportunities to move forward and create that brighter future. As we journey through life, I charge you all to not focus on the doors that close, but rather on the doors that open. Our collective work over the past 4 years has left for us a lot of open doors. I cannot wait to watch you all go through them. Classmates, thank you for allowing me to speak to you today. I'll end with one of my favorite quotes from a song called Future Looks Good by the band One Republic. It reads, "You are the future, and the future looks good." As I recall all of you in our shared time together, I will never forget all of the opportunities we've gained, and never doubt our preparedness to identify many future opportunities. Enjoy your day, everybody. My most sincere congratulations to all.
Thank you, Jenna. 275 days. That's what it was supposed to be. You walked into our auditorium on August 28th, and you should have been walking out of this stadium with the diploma in hand on May 29th. 275 days. 275 days to be the royalty of the school, the senior class. 275 opportunities to write another verse in the chapter that is your career in the Attleboro Public Schools. 275 days to cement your legacy in our Blue Pride community. But on day 198, March 13th to be exact, all of that changed. Our world as we know it has changed forever. I know that this is a celebratory occasion and I should actually be more positive, but I think that would be unfair to not at least start with a dose of reality to be sure as not to minimize what you and your families have been through. That being said, I will bring this back to some silver linings. I happened to be at school on April 21st when the governor's announcement to close schools hit every social media account that I follow. The building seemed even more quiet than usual that day. There were no groups of students in the pit, waiting until the last minute to run to third lunch. There were no desks being shuffled on the second floor for students to participate in group work. There was no smell of barbecue wafting from the bistro. I felt empty. Empty for you. Understandably, we all had all kinds of questions. I just wish I had more answers. Why couldn't you be at prom on April 3rd? Why was marching in Washington, D.C., something that we had looked forward to, suddenly canceled? Couldn't there just be one more trip to Europe before our worlds changed? How can we not all be in the stadium on May 29th when the superintendent confers our diplomas? I just wish I had more answers. Cheer nationals, the Addams Family production, one more lunchtime chat with Tony and B2, senior nights for spring sports, one more chance to hear "Please Rise" for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I just wish I had answers. But actually, there are some answers that I do have, and those answers are the silver linings. Yes, buses will line up on Blue Pride Way again. Yes, Hockomock League games will be played again. Yes, the bells will ring at 1:50 once more. And yes, the band will play and the pound will chant on Friday nights. Things will return to normal. But sadly, you will all be alumni by the time that happens. The silver lining for many of us is how you have responded to this adversity and how we will never, ever take those things for granted again. In the future, when your teachers and I are asked to reflect on the students who have had the greatest impact on us, the students who really personify Blue Pride, that is an answer that I do have. Our answer will be you. You have been our silver lining. You have been our strength. You have been our hope. Giving someone hope is one of the greatest gifts. Without hope, we lose our will. In a world of senseless behaviors, fear, and anxiety, you are our hope. You will not let evil overcome you. You will overcome evil with good. You are our gift. Through these difficult times, you have been leaders. I'm a believer in the concepts of culture building, where good vibes, critical thinking, and virtuous behavior are contagious and can lead to improving our world. As we continue to rebound from these awful circumstances, we have to strive for progress in such a way that acknowledges that people can change things. The belief that Blue Pride lives here has become more than just a catchphrase. It has become a mindset that our entire city espouses. You personify that. Because of this pandemic, it is unlikely that your entire class will ever be together in one place again. However, it is my prayer that with the influence of tradition and responsibility instilled in you, you will all grow together as you continue to hold on to what is good and true, all to make our world a better place. Congratulations. You have been a blessing to me. I love you all. Godspeed, class of 2020. Thank you for being you. And now, please join me in welcoming the Mayor of the City of Attleboro, Mr. Paul Hero.
Hello, it's an honor to be part of your high school graduation. My name is Paul Hero, I'm the Mayor of Attleboro. This is a wonderful milestone for all of you. I'm proud of all of you. Over my 5 years as a state representative and now in my third year as mayor, I have tried to attend as many school and youth-related events as I could. Being able to see you at DARE graduations, at Eagle Scout ceremonies, reading to an elementary school, visiting an opening day of youth baseball or fast pitch, and so much more is a fun part of being in public office. All of you who are graduating are our reason for a hopeful future in our city, state, and country. You have all been through a lot. At the start of your high school career, you experienced over 30 teachers being laid off. During your time as a student, you lost the use of some of the sports fields due to the development of the new high school. Because of a global pandemic, you lost out on several experiences common to seniors, such as a prom, graduation, and just simply spending time with your classmates before you part ways. It's also been a tough time to be a high school student. There were stories of school shootings in other places throughout the country. You experienced bullying and have had to worry about everything you put on the internet. But through all of these challenges, you prevailed. You graduated high school because you are strong, resilient, and committed to a life of success. These challenges are going to be part of history, and you have lived through some of these historic times. Some of these are local experience, such as the development of our new high school, and others are part of a global experience, such as the pandemic. You are part of both. There will be many paths taken by each of you as there are graduates. You will go off and do some different things, but no matter what you do it with pride, do it with excitement, and do it with honesty and integrity, and so when you look back on your life, you will say that your life mattered. Live a life that shows that you not only lived through historic moments, but that you helped create history. I graduated from Attleboro High School 25 years ago in 1995. It was not the classroom lessons that I remember the most, but the life lessons that were passed during my time here. I want to share with you some of those lessons I learned here while I was at Attleboro High School. My geometry teacher, Mr. Hanowich, told us to be honest with ourselves, be honest with others, and to try our hardest. This will steer us right. At my graduation ceremony 25 years ago, one of our class advisors told my graduating class, remember the lessons we were taught when we were little. Don't push, don't hit others, and be nice. My class valedictorian told of a Calvin Hobbes story that went something like this. Calvin said to Hobbes, we should live for the moment because one day you could walk into the road and wham, you're hit by a truck and are dead. What do you say to that? Hobbes responded, you should look down the road. Before you part ways with your classmates, tell your friends that you appreciated them for being good to you. Before you leave, say sorry if you hurt someone. Thank a teacher for trying to make a difference in your life. Tell your mom and dad you love them and you're thankful for all they have given you. No matter what each of you do after graduation, I have two requests. The first is that you come back and visit your teachers. Let them know that you appreciate their investment in you. And two, the second request is that you be trustworthy and kind. I've lived in 3 states and on 3 continents. There's not enough of that in the world. It really does matter. Your classmates, your teachers, this city will be looking forward to hearing big things from each of you in the years to come. But the thing that you will be most proud of is what you do in helping be trustworthy and kind to other people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Now please join me in welcoming the Superintendent of the Attleboro Public Schools, Mr. David Sawyer.
On behalf of the Attleboro School Committee and the entire Attleboro Public Schools, it is my sincere honor to offer our congratulations to the class of 2020. In my entire life, more has never been asked of a graduating class. And I acknowledge that some of you might see this modified ceremony as one final indignity. But I hope that if not yet, in time, you will all come to appreciate the true value of your sacrifice. We will never know precisely just how many lives were saved by interrupting your senior year. And reasonable people can argue about whether our leaders correctly balanced the trade-offs inherent in the policies under which this district, the Commonwealth, and our world have operated the last several months. But please do not lament that what you lost this spring may have been forfeited in vain. If you ever need a reminder of what this hardship has yielded, just remember that some real but unknowable number of lives were saved. That is not just an abstract concept. Real individuals, human beings here in Attleboro, are still alive in part because of the sacrifices you and your peers have made. These are people we know, some of whom continue to manage the anxiety that comes with knowing that they are particularly susceptible to this deadly virus that has and will likely continue to disrupt our way of life. These legitimate public health risks continue to alter our reality, and it pains me to think of the disproportionate impact this has had on you and your families. But the regret that we all feel for this unwanted context notwithstanding, I leave you today with two comments. First, while the impact of COVID-19 may have seemed all-consuming, do not for a moment think that your legacy here will be defined solely by the viral menace that collided with your senior year. You represent almost 400 individual success stories. You stand on a foundation laid for you by loving families, caring teachers, and a supportive community that have watched with pride as you have blossomed into ambitious, creative, and socially conscious young adults. While we'll all remember the odd circumstances under which you are departing us, those of us who have had the pleasure to know you will not forget the impact you have made on us and one another, both before and during the current crisis. Second is one last piece of guidance, for which I would be remiss to certify your diplomas without attempting to impart. As you exit the confines of high school to enter what we often, ironically perhaps, refer to as the real world, it should be painfully obvious that this is a world in need of repair. From a globally crippling pandemic to the desperate need for greater equity and social justice amid horrifying scenes that have yet again roiled our nation during the last month, you cross this societal threshold at a perilous time, demanding your civic engagement in ways unimagined by many of those who have endeavored to prepare you for this moment. In truth, becoming remote learners on a few days' notice will probably not be life's final curveball thrown in your direction. So as your superintendent, my final ask of you is this: never stop learning. A willingness to stay curious, to push yourself, and ask questions is the best chance you have to be prepared and poised to contribute towards solutions rather than to add to problems that we will be combating together. None of us know with certainty what the coming years will bring. But if you continue to cultivate the resiliency and adaptability that you have exhibited during this odd and burdensome last few months with the Attleboro Public Schools, our global community will be better prepared to grapple with whatever the fates throw at us next. And so, again, on behalf of the Attleboro community, who has had the privilege of knowing you and who will always feel gratitude in our hearts for the sacrifices you have made and the lives you have saved, thank you to the class of 2020. You have made an impact on our city that is not easily measured, but will never be forgotten. Congratulations and good luck.
Now please join me in welcoming our Student Council Vice President, Sydney Fahey.
It's incredible to think about how fast time flies. I remember being warned freshman year by countless upperclassmen about just how fast high school would end. I never really believed it until this year. Today's the day we've been counting down for years and years. the day where we put on our royal blue caps and gowns and celebrate together. Good evening, friends, families, administrators, and most importantly, the class of 2020. It's hard to believe today is the end of our 4-year-long journey. It seems like just yesterday we were scared and confused little freshmen worried about where we were going to sit for lunch. Then we were sophomores, going into one of the best years of our lives. We got our permits and had one Sweet 16 every weekend. After that, we found ourselves in one of the hardest years, junior year. Everyone was constantly stressed, whether it was about SATs, AP classes, or a hard foreign language test. Then the excitement as the first day of senior year came around. We've been there for each other the whole time, and now we're here, crossing the finish line. Although today was supposed to go differently, I still feel honored to be giving this speech to you. This year has been tough. No Friday night light football games, no spring sports, no prom. But I feel that our class has the strength like none other to peek through the clouds and see the sunlight ahead of us. Class of 2020, we are strong, resilient, amazing. Looking past the clouds, we've accomplished so much this year. We won our final pep rally, won the Powder Puff game, our Pounds fan section, ruled the Hawk, and so much more. We've endured good times and bad, but we've gotten through it all together. I would like to spend a few moments giving appreciation to the people who got us to where we are today. Thank you to our beloved families. You have played one of the most important roles in our lives and given us endless amounts of affection, compassion, and taught us life lessons we will cherish forever. Thank you, teachers and administrators, for guiding us through our 4 years at AHS and dealing with our extreme cases of senioritis. Thank you to the community of Attleboro for supporting our seniors during these difficult times. Thank you, Mr. RUNEY, Mrs. Rigo, Mrs. Larson, Mrs. Botsford, and everyone else who worked tirelessly to give the class of 2020 the most traditional graduation possible, a fantastic parade around the whole city, as well as the greatest year based on the circumstances. I'd like to extend a very special thank you to our Student Council Advisor, Ms. Pereira, KP as Student Council members call her. Your love of Student Council is passed down to me and every single kid who attends our meetings. Without your commitment and drive, our council would not be as strong as it is today. We would never have gotten the chance to host our regional winter CMAS conference in 2019 or be able to attend any other leadership conferences without you. I am extremely grateful for you and the way you love each and every StuCo member, and I miss seeing you every week. I would like to personally thank my friends and family for always having my back these past 4 years, no matter what. I would not be up on this stage if it was not for their kind words of encouragement and endless love. Especially my mom and dad. Thank you for helping me along the way through this crazy life. I love you both. When I first embarked on my student council journey at my first ever meeting that I was dragged to by Parker Sweeney, I was a shy, nervous girl. But later on, Ari Susi, Sid Vieira, and AJ Shirk broke me out of my shell and helped me become a totally different and outgoing person. They led me to my first regional CMAS conference, then my first MASC state conference. They taught me the infamous StuCo dance Timber, as well as my favorite energizer Toast. And this year they passed the reins down to me as your student council vice president. The biggest lesson I learned from student council is as follows. You'll face many hardships and obstacles in your life, but in order to be successful and overcome those challenges, you must face them head on and remain positive and strong. Class of 2020, I want to pass on that lesson to you. You will face so many challenges and roadblocks in your life, but you have to stay positive and face it head on. Do not live in fear of the unknown. Live in excitement and take things as they come. All of you have such a bright future ahead of you, no matter what path you're taking after high school. Each and every one of us has the power, tools, and opportunity to become outstanding in our futures. Take that opportunity and run with it. Growing up, we were constantly asked what we wanted to be when we were adults. Our answers as little kids were pop stars, astronauts, and princesses. As young teenagers, they changed to police officers, doctors, and firefighters. But now everyone wants a real answer. Who knows? This is a time in our lives to make mistakes and learn lessons from them. Take things slowly as they come to us. There's no reason to make hard, fast decisions right now because chances are we're going to change our minds, and that's perfectly fine. Change your mind, make as many mistakes as possible, because one day there will be no more mistakes to be made. When someone asks us what we want to do with our life, we won't have to guess, we'll know. What happens now? Class of 2020, soon our tassels will be moved from the left to the right, signifying our time at Attleboro High School is officially over. But that's not a bad thing. Instead of feeling the sadness of not being together right now, focus on the positive. Think of the first time you come home and see our friends, or the first time someone comes to visit you at school. We've left a huge mark at AHS. I say, let's go off and be brilliant and leave our marks on bigger and better things. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Thank you for letting me be a part of such an unforgettable class.
I would now like to recognize Ben Wood, president of the Attleboro High School class of 2020, who will offer his reflections and pass the time key.
Thank you. I am truly honored to be speaking to all of you on behalf of the 2020 Attleboro High School graduating class. I'd like to thank all of you for celebrating this very special occasion with us. I would like to start off by thanking my parents and my brother. First, thank you, Mom, for dragging me out of bed in the morning if I slept through my alarm, which I usually did. And thank you, Mom and Dad, for always being there for me and for being the greatest people I know. Thanks for all your wonderful support, always believing in me, and thank you for praising my achievements and also letting me know that making mistakes is a good thing. And Mom, thanks for passing on your great sense of humor to me and putting bad jokes in my lunchbox every Friday. I love you. Thank you, Mr. RUNEY, and all of the Attleboro Public Schools principals, teachers, coaches, faculty, and staff. I especially would like to give a huge thanks to our advisors, Mrs. Larson and Mrs. Botsford-Milne. Even though our time with you guys was unfortunately cut rather short, having you both as our class advisors for the past 4 years of high school have truly been a memorable one, and an experience I'll never forget. Planning class events and fundraisers with you have been a lot of fun. Thank you for all you both have done. I can't believe how fast these 4 years went by. We will surely miss you. To all of the other Attleboro Public Schools teachers, coaches, faculty, and staff, I really wish I had the time to name each and every one of you, but I want to give you all a huge thank you. It seems like such a small thing to say for what a huge impact you've had on all of us, but you have not only been those who've pushed us to be the best students and individuals we can be, but you are the role models we look up to at school. And I believe that it's important to look back at what all you have done for each and every one of us graduating today, and how you all helped us get here, and how you shaped us into the students that we are today. This could range from way back to our elementary school 3rd grade teachers who let us take the class hamster home, to Mr. Seavey's SpongeBob Fridays, to Mr. Clark getting Domino's pizza for some of his classes, to the time when Mr. Hodges failed to get Munchkins for the 2030 class until thankfully he finally did, and the time when I passed out in health class freshman year. Not one of my finest moments, but it's the moments like that, big or small, good or bad, and when we make mistakes, which we all have and will continue to make, and that's okay, because that's life, and we can't be afraid of making mistakes. It's how we deal with those moments that shape us into who we are and who we're going to turn out to be. So thank you, principals, teachers, coaches, faculty, and staff, for always going above and beyond for us, not only for the past 12 years, but also in the challenging past few months. Also, just a quick shout out to Miss Lauren and Miss Rosemarie for starting me off so well at Peter Thatcher. To all of my fellow graduates and friends, I truly can't believe that this day has finally come. I remember like it was just yesterday that we were all little freshmen, trying to find out where the heck we were supposed to go, and now we're all finally made it to this very special occasion, and now we're all about to graduate and get our well-earned diplomas. Congratulations, everyone. I know that this is not how any of us expected our senior year to end. It's been hard and sad at times to think about the fun events we've missed out on, but we can't let this take away from the 4 years we've all spent together. All the awesome memories we've had, the accomplishments we've achieved, and the many new friends we've made. All the classes, sports, and clubs we had together. The volunteering and giving back to our community. Nothing can take that away from us. We should all be very proud of the lessons we will carry with us. I think our class of 2020 will be the class of resilience, gratitude, and the class of diligence and perseverance. So whether we're going to college, a trade school, the military, work, wherever you're going, I truly wish the very best for you. Make new memories, make accomplishments, but also make mistakes, because that's how we learn and do better. Be curious and adventurous, and continue to learn new things. Please continue to be kind to yourselves and to others, and help others when you can. I'd like to wish all of you and your families great health and happiness. Thank you, and congratulations, class of 2020. And finally, I really enjoyed being your president the past 2 years, but it's time for me to hand this key down. I'll be giving this to Mr. RUNEY for safekeeping, and I know that next year's president will take very good care of this. Once again, congrats, class of 2020. Thank you.
The valedictorian of the Attleboro High School class of 2020 will attend Northeastern University. He is pragmatic, optimistic, self-reflective, and determined. He is driven by a strong intrinsic motivation. He is innately curious and enjoys academic exploration. A purposeful young man, he has certainly made the most of his time at AHS, devoting lots of time to the marching band and the robotics club, while earning the honors diploma and recognition as a National Merit Commended Scholar. He has made time to volunteer more than 400 hours of community service at Sturdy Memorial Hospital. He holds a second-degree black belt, participates in his church's youth group, and holds a part-time job. He is highly respected by his classmates, largely because of his humility and natural good humor. At Northeastern, he will explore his interests in programming and game design. Please join me in welcoming the Attleboro High School class of 2020 valedictorian, Eric Yip.
Hello to all parents, guardians, siblings, teachers, staff, and most importantly, all my schoolmates of the class of 2020. First of all, congratulations to all the graduates this year. We're finally here. I'd like to thank all of the teachers and faculty that have made this year possible. Specifically, I'd like to thank quite a few people: Superintendent Mr. Sawyer, Principal RUNEY, Ms. Bissett, Mr. Clark, Ms. Faulkner, Mrs. McCarthy, Mrs. McInnes, Ms. Michelle, Ms. Paquette, Mrs. Regan, Mr. Riley, Ms. Sinan, Mr. Tarsi, Mr. Walton, all of my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, and many more. You've all had a huge impact on me, as well as many other students. To my fellow graduates, we have all traveled down a long, tireless road these past 4 years, and the journey has been both exciting and difficult in many ways for all of us. Freshman year brought us together with new friends, but it also sent us scrambling to find our new classes in the vast building. Junior year filled many of us with both excitement and worries about college, the military, life after school, and the future in general. But our classes also had to deal with some of the most unique and disruptive issues that this school has ever faced in the entirety of its existence. Construction of the new school caused us to adapt to an entirely new parking arrangement, shutting down fields and causing noise for a few classrooms. And the outbreak of COVID-19 has presented us all with an unprecedented halt to our year, which has culminated in a strange and surprising new way of life, if only temporary. Yet, even with these challenges, our class has consistently persevered and innovated to surpass these issues. We quickly adjusted to the parking conundrum, bolstering our lives in the face of the construction. So many students have found different, unique ways to interact, socialize, and learn with each other in the restrictions of social distancing, keeping morale high for all those who need it. If there is one tool that we have chosen to pave the road for the future, it is the ability to adapt and innovate. My vision of the future is a continuation of what is happening right now, a world that is fast-paced, constantly changing and always needs solutions to new problems. A good chunk of our life is digitized and online, where information is exchanged faster than the speed of thought. And as we have all seen, the problems that need to be solved throughout the world just seem to keep piling up. Fortunately, many of our years at AHS have developed and tested our ability to adjust. We've dealt with the EEE curfew changes, construction, and even the transition into online learning at home. Now, moving into the future, our flexibility, strong wills, and quick thinking will be our key into the enigmatic and unpredictable future. We will be traveling towards a future that requires a lot of speed, change, and persistence. But it also happens that we as a generation have never been better equipped to face the challenges of tomorrow. There will be struggles and chaos and times of fear and sorrow, but the class of 2020 has never backed down from such obstacles before. We have learned to overcome the struggles of heartbreak, heavy workloads, and responsibility here at AHS. We have learned to harness the fun chaos of classroom chatter, hallway banter, and friendly mischief. We have learned to support each other in the many instances of paranoia and tragedy that have gripped the nation as a whole. Some people may feel that they have not learned much from school. I wholeheartedly disagree. You may not remember every single thing that you've learned, but no matter which classes you took, which friends you've made, and what path you've traveled here at AHS, you walked a road that has been filled with high peaks and low valleys, all towards the bright future. Without even knowing the struggles that you faced, that one project that kept you up all night, that binder that always seemed to keep falling apart, that class that was on the other side of the building, they have all built you into a resourceful, experienced individual who has the perseverance, adaptability, and willpower to get things done. Now, as we finally branch out into our own unique roads, what you do with those strengths are up to you. Even if life tosses us around, we will persevere. We always have, and we always will. Thank you so much for this truly wonderful experience.
It is now my pleasure to present the METCALF Awards. The Helen W. METCALF Prize of $5 was instituted in 1919 and is presented at the graduation exercises at Attleboro High School each year to the member of the graduating class having the highest average for 3 years' work in English. It is in memory of a former English teacher at Attleboro High School, Miss Helen Metcalf, who was once one of the founders of the Pierian Club. In appreciation of this remembrance of his sister, Louis Metcalf set aside a trust fund to provide for these awards. We now present the METCALF Awards to the class of 2020, ranging from $750 to $1,000. The METCALF Award for Academic Excellence is presented to Eric Yip. The METCALF Award for English is presented to Lauren Brown. The METCALF Award for Mathematics is presented to Derek Rivette. The METCALF Award for Science is presented to Emily GITTLE. The METCALF Award for World Languages is presented to Veronica ESTEBAN. And the METCALF Award for Social Studies is presented to JENNA GITTLE. In closing, I'd like to offer special thanks to Ms. Katie Rigo, Mr. Dave Elderkin, our OIT department, our music department, and Mr. Jason Parento for their hours of hard work. I'd also like to thank our partners at AACS and the Sun Chronicle. Congratulations and good evening.